This is Lane Brains with Cameron Klein and Esley Bus.
Shevchenko, Karmosh.
You know,
I'm going to pull the fight card up. Go ahead. Keep going.
I thought that Shevchenko was just going to, like, run through this girl.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it didn't. I thought she was really technical. I mean, if you kind of looked at her performance, I don't know that you could point out, like, any specific holes in her game, really.
Wait, for Karmosh or for
Shevchenko? Yeah. I don't, like, she
Yeah.
fought a very technical fight. I mean, she's going to be around for a while. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say that she'll have, like, 10, 11, 12 title defenses. I know some people have already said that, but
No,
I don't think that's crazy at all.
I don't think so either. I think it's like an instance of, like, you have, like with Ronda Rousey. Like when Ronda Rousey first came in, like she was just rolling through people, like just trashing people because like the division just hadn't caught up to her yet, and it's a very new division. But I don't know. I think it's going to catch up quicker. But yeah, like she wants to fight. Like like she fought a couple months ago, like in May, June. And she knocked out Jessica I. So like if she remains active, she's just racking up title defenses basically.
I think she's a lot different than Rousey too. I think she's a lot more disciplined.
Yeah,
I think she's a lot more, I think her what is it? Her mom's like the president of like some like Muay Thai federation or something crazy.
Something like
she's been fighting since she was like in the womb.
Right.
So like she's just an animal all around. Like,
right.
I don't see her losing. I don't think she's gonna give that belt. Oh, how did you feel about her calling out Nunes at the end?
I thought it was smart. I mean, like, because what like in that division, what else is there gonna be?
Yeah.
Like, who else is there gonna be?
I don't know. I was thinking this today. Like, she should just keep beating on these girls on flyweight and rack up these title defenses, and then you're gonna go down. I mean, personally, I thought she won the last Nunes fight. Some people give me shit for that, but like, I thought she won that fight.
I mean, we're all entitled to an opinion, even if it's wrong.
Right,
it's
right.
Yeah,
but like, do I want to see it again? I don't know. I think she's the biggest threat to Amanda Nunes, and I think they're right there in terms of like talent.
She is the only UFC champion that a Nunes hasn't finished.
Yeah,
like except for the strawweights, but that's just ridiculous. Like she's not. That's just not gonna happen. They're not gonna meet at like 125.
Right.
Like, but yeah, she. And a lot, like you said, even like I've heard other people feel like it went her way. She felt like it went her way. Clearly,
I thought she won the fight. I mean, I know that takedown at the end. People were like, "Oh,
that was to me what
settled that last round," which maybe, but I thought she did enough to win. But
that could be like a whole another discussion of like how much should takedowns be valued in fights, like because I think it's big because like, you're taking control of somebody, but like to me, if you take them down and then just get right back up, it's like okay, well how big really was that? Like you got him down on the ground, but like you didn't really control them. Like
right. I guess it depends on how the takedown is. When like I don't know, like DC throwing Randy Couture through the air or whatever. You see like that's like some dominant like
I don't think it was Randy Couture. I don't remember who that
was. It?
No. Well, he did it to Gus.
He did it to Gus.
Gustafson.
Yeah, but there's someone else. Was it Frank Mir?
There's
maybe it was Frank Mir.
I think he did fight Frank Mir, but I know he did it to Josh Barnett.
I'm thinking of Josh Barnett
and Dan Henderson too.
No. I'm thinking of Dan Henderson. That's what I'm thinking of.
That one was tough.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, like a suplex like that,
dude. He just manhandles him. Yeah. It's crazy.
It was crazy.
What did you think about Mike Perry's like crooked nostrils?
Dude, oh my god. Oh my god.
That was like one of the worst noses in recent memory.
He immediately looked like Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah.
Immediately, dude.
He went into surgery. Like I think he got out of surgery today. Like he went in
when they had him standing there for the like announcement of who won. I was like, dude, get him out of there. Like that is grotesque. That is like that. That was disgusting.
I think he should have won the fight. Also, I thought he won that fight.
So I don't know what it is. It's according to like something called like Verdict on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I guess it's like a website, or I'm not really sure. Like look at this, just gnarly. Just oh my god,
Jesus Christ!
Like a cartoon character.
It is like a cartoon.
I mean, that is disgusting. His nose is making like a full
Jesus Christ,
like number 5 almost.
It is.
Like if you look at his
zig
like,
and a zag.
Yeah.
It's a yeah.
Dude, it's just
fucking
that's
animal,
just awful.
Man. But like, my question is, where do you go from here if you're Mike Perry? Like, what? Like, he's kind of on a skid, dude. He lost to Cowboy. lost to Luke. Like, who's he? Like, what's his next fight gonna look like? You know, is he gonna get cut? I mean,
the thing is that he's always in all of them.
Yeah,
like it's always like a close
that's
fight.
True. It's
in
always
all
a
of
close
them.
fight.
But I have to try to find this tweet. Yeah, here it is. See, it's Verdict MMA, so it is a website. So basically, they do like global scorecards. They take I guess like social media and all kinds of other stuff. And the way they saw it in terms of like overall scores was he won round 1, round 2. And for the most part, I find this thing pretty accurate from what I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah, like I usually do. I usually agree with it pretty good.
I thought Perry won.
Like
I thought Luke. How do you say his last name? Luke.
Yeah,
Okay.
Luke.
Yeah.
When this was first announced, I thought like Luke was going to piece him up, and that's like no disrespect to Mike Perry.
Right.
It's just that Mike Perry's kind of like, to me, like a caged animal, and like when you put him in the cage, it's like you're unlocking the cage and letting him freak out.
He fought a smart fight though this time. I don't think he did like rushed in there like he normally does. But you know, I thought he fought a smart fight.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
like it. He's done that recently. Like I want to see like who remember exactly who was he fought, because like I know he fought Cowboy, and like I just think he was just outmatched. Like Cowboy's just on a different level.
Right.
And no one really like. No, I feel like Cowboy's ground game, because it hasn't been seen as much recently, is like more underrated than it should be.
Oh, he did beat Cowboy Oliveira.
And that was a throwdown too.
Yeah. I forgot about that fight.
Like I feel like you could give him like, to me he's like a UFC like golden ticket for them. Like they could put anyone in the cage with him and it'll be exciting.
Yeah. But that division's pretty stacked.
It is. And like, okay, so he lost to Cowboy. That's a loss to like a very good fighter. Right. One against Paul Felder. That's
impressive.
Pretty big.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah,
like, granted, Paul Felder usually is at lightweight, so he did move up in weight, and like he didn't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good fight. And Paul Felder, like, broke his hand, I think, early on in the fight.
Broke his arm early.
Broke his arm. Yeah.
It was like I think he broke it on his skull. He did like a spinning backhand.
Yeah.
And he just like broke his arm.
Right. Yeah. And then he lost to Max Griffin. Again, no slouch.
Yeah.
Santiago Ponzinibbio.
The eye poke man.
Right.
Just throws an uppercut like a claw. Like just.
Dude, it's effective.
Yeah.
It works.
Throws that jab.
Right. But okay, he lost to Ponzinibbio, but Ponzinibbio is like we've seen since then. He's a beast,
opponent,
man. He's a beast.
Is he in the top 10 or is he top 15? Maybe he's right there.
I have rankings right here. Hold on. I think he's in number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah, so he's a top 10 opponent.
Yeah.
So Perry's definitely not going to get cut. He's right there, on the cusp of being top 15, top 10 kind of guy.
And like,
he's an exciting fighter, you know.
He had that stint with Jackson Wink, but I feel like there's some questionable outcomes of their fighters recently. Like John Jones against Thiago didn't look like John Jones. Like,
right. But
and then you look at like Carlos Condit, he hasn't been doing well. Like Cowboy, when he was with, right before he left, like he was losing a good amount, and then he left, and then he, burnt that bridge down immediately by just talking crap about him like it was his job. But I mean, granted, like from his point of view, I understand why he's angry. He had a right to be angry. But like, I just feel like I hear nothing but like not great things out of that gym. And now he's not with that gym anymore. Perry. He's back in Florida.
You know what kind of rubbed me the wrong way with Jackson is like they always invest in the young guys coming up, and it's just kind of like the guys they have, like piss off. Like Rashad Evans was at Jackson.
Yeah, right.
The same thing with Jones.
It's a pattern.
Right? Yeah. And then they did the same thing with Perry and Cowboy. They put their chips in Perry's corner,
which I thought was a little bit of a weird decision.
I think so too.
Like
but that was when Cowboy was hit or miss kind of.
That's true.
And then after that, he kind of has been put
before he was Dad Cowboy, dude.
He's
different
Dad
animal,
Cowboy.
Man.
Dad Cowboy.
And like even in his last fight, like he still looked pretty good first round against Tony. I think Tony was running away with it, in my opinion, toward the end.
Dude, Tony Ferguson is one of the best fighters on this planet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it was. I thought Luque was gonna knock him out at some point, just because I thought he was gonna throw wild hooks, or at some point like he was gonna get caught, and then he's like gonna go into fight or flight mode, Perry. Kind of like Eddie Alvarez and Conor McGregor when they fought, and just start swinging like a madman and then get caught a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But not like you're right. Like he fought an incredibly smart fight, and it's like I would love him with Dean Thomas. Like that to me would be like you're gonna get like a bona fide superstar, not like just a guy who people tune in to watch violence, but a guy who like is just piecing dudes up. Like I remember when he first came in the UFC, Mike Perry, UFC 202, he was like 11-0, had like just started fighting, and he fought Don Hyun Kim, and beat the crap out of him.
I know he knocked out.
I'm sorry, Hyun Gyu Lim. Sorry, the wrong one.
Jake Ellenberg. He like knocked him out too, right?
I thought he killed him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What was it? He like did
elbowed.
That elbow?
Yeah,
they
were
crazy.
Disengaged in the clinch, and he just trashed him. I remember when he knocked out Danny Roberts too.
Yeah,
like that was like a crazy fight. Pieced up by Alan Joban.
Yeah, but but like that was when like if you were someone with good pretty good footwork and head movement, it's like you could just like kind of avoid the big shots or whatever, and just kind of get out of the way.
I feel like Alan Joban was the first like point fighter that he really fought.
Yeah, but I think he's gotten a lot more technical now. So
you
gotta hang with some of those guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind even seeing that again. Maybe
it's
not like a huge.
Because I'm looking at the win loss, it's like shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But Paul Felder, that's pretty impressive, dude.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
and it's like a really close fight.
And Alex Oliveira too, no vets, dudes that have been there for a long time.
Yeah, he's just one of those fighters. I guess it's like one win, one loss.
Yeah,
couple wins
right.
here, another loss. Yeah.
And then what else was
Ozdemir? That was a pretty big win. Thank God. Thank God he's back in the win column.
Yeah, that was big for him.
Yeah,
he needed that big time.
Yeah,
big time. Like he had the fight against.
I think he beat. Who's it? Dominic Reyes? Is that the guy?
I
think he won that fight. I thought he won that fight too.
I remember I don't know if I fully remember seeing that fight because I remember hearing about it and hearing it was controversial, but I don't really remember much about it.
Dude, he had a tough go there. DC, Anthony Smith, Dominic Reyes. I thought he won the Dominic Reyes fight, but
but you're right though, dude. Even before then, Ovin St. Preux. Yeah, he beat him, and then Misha Sorkinov. Remember when he knocked him out? It was so weird. It was so weird. He just kind of touched the back of his head and he dropped, and he looked dead.
And then he shoved Jimmy Manuwa to the ground. He really just pushed him down.
He launched him, hit him, wobbled him, and was just I don't even need to hit you again. I'm just gonna slam your head on the ground, and that's it.
That was some alpha male shit.
What a sad end of a career for Jimmy Manuwa.
Yeah, Jimmy Manuwa.
Look at that.
KO,
it's knocked out.
KO.
His whole thing is all knockouts. Either he's given them or he was taking them.
He had a good career though overall, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, he got to fight some of the best in the world.
And
he beat Jan Blachowicz. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, right.
Corey Anderson,
Ovin St. Preux.
OSP, really impressive. Yeah.
The Ovin St. Preux one I thought was that was a very violent knockout. He laid him out.
Yeah.
And then Jan Blachowicz again loses decision. Volkan Ozdemir knocked out roughly. Diego Santos, another murderer. And then his last one we got head kicked was rough. That was a rough one too.
That's a rough one.
But
good career. But yeah, Ozdemir, I think he could go up and fight. I guess I don't know if Jan Blachowicz is. I guess he's into the title picture. You could say so. You could do that.
It's funny. It's funny because
I guess he KO'd Luke Rockhold.
I feel the reason why he's in the title picture is because
KO'd
Luke Rockhold was talking crap about John Jones. He was talking crap about the entire division pretty much.
Yeah.
And then
dude, what's going on with our boy Luke Rockhold, man? I think it's time, man. It's time.
Time for
retire,
what? Retire?
Dude.
Really?
I think it's time, man. What else can he really do? Does he need to go up in light heavyweight? Does he need to do that? Everyone always talks about how he has this modeling career and he's got all this other things he can do.
Agree.
So he's a Strikeforce champion too, right?
He was, I believe,
at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'll look him up. Yeah. But it's weird because just a couple years ago, 3 years ago,
just got that glass jaw.
Yeah, he was a beast, and then he loses to short notice to Michael Bisping, one of my favorite fights of all time.
Because people were saying when that when Rockhold became champion, they're like, okay, this guy's gonna be here for a minute. He's gonna be.
I was one of them. I thought for sure.
Right.
Dude, he wasn't he just won on a fluke against Chris Weidman. He beat him bad. It was rough. Herb Dean was giving him every chance to get out of it, and all it really did was result in more brain damage for him, the poor bastard. It was tough. It was tough, but yeah. But I don't. Yeah, he moves up, talks all kinds of crap about John Jones, Anthony Smith, all these killers essentially, and then How do you come back from that? Not even like
Yeah.
this devastating knockout. Like, just how do you come back from talking all this shit and then getting just slept immediately?
What is he? He probably had like a tube down his throat so he could get food.
He did break his jaw.
Oh,
yeah,
he did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dude,
Okay.
it was it was tough, dude. It was tough.
I remember seeing that and I was like, yeah, that's not pretty.
None.
That's not pretty, dude.
But yeah, like I don't to me he's still marketable because he's an attractive dude.
He is
A former champion.
handsome motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I feel like he just consists on having his hands down. I feel like you would learn at this point.
Keep your hands up, Luke.
Like,
Chin
it's-
down.
yeah.
Chin tucked. Tuck the chin.
Right. And it's not like it's just like he's getting hit with different shit every time.
Yeah.
He got hit by a left hook from Michael Bisping, got hit by a left hook from Yoel Romero.
I think it was a left
And the
hook
left
too.
hook again with
yeah.
Jan Blachowicz. It's a little bit different because they were leaving the clinch, but all 3 times left hook. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
And it was just good night. It's
I
over.
guess you
It's
take
over.
a fight at, another fight at light heavyweight, I guess. Do you go back down to middle? He looked kind of like, I don't want to say slow, but like, I don't know. He just didn't feel like, he didn't look as maybe agile. I don't know. He wasn't like, moving around as much, maybe.
And I feel like that's like what happens when you move up.
Yeah.
Like for the first couple fights maybe, or if you don't like use a lot of time. Like Georges St. Pierre was off for like 3 years before he like fully came back. So like I feel like he took a good amount of time to like kind of try to maybe build his body up. I don't think he was planning on going to middleweight the whole time, but like then you see like Max Holloway when he fought against Dustin. Like you could see like the power wasn't quite as much there. Like his snap wasn't quite as much there anymore. And I think it's because like he literally took that fight and then like had like a normal fight week, like or normal fight camp length of time to prepare. So like he didn't give enough time to like adequately get his body up to the size that it needed to be.
Right.
Because like you remember like Poirier when he moved up to lightweight, like he was killing people, but he also like lost a few. Like I remember he got knocked out by Michael Johnson and stuff like that. But like now that he's been there for like a solid amount of time, you're really starting to see him just tear people up.
I think it just takes time to get in the groove of that division. Like, when you
Yeah.
move up, you just gotta give yourself time.
Right.
Did you catch that dude from Uruguay last night?
Yeah.
Dude,
What was his name?
Garagora,
yeah.
Garagora. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That guy, legit. That was a legit fight.
That was to me, I
Yeah.
think one of my favorite fights in the card. It was nice.
Yeah, that dude is. That was his debut too.
Yeah, and he's what 12-0
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? How did it say on there? But yeah, I know he was like 11-0 or 12-0 at first.
Yeah. Welcome to the UFC.
Yeah, right, dude. They were
In
going
his
crazy
home
for him.
country. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Uruguay.
It's a great way to start. Like that would be.
He almost looks like he doesn't like. I wouldn't look at that guy and be like, oh yeah, he's from like Uruguay. He kind of looks almost like Middle Eastern, kind of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, dude, like Uruguay's small.
Right.
Really, really small.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. Yeah. It's like. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is like one of the only guys from Uruguay on this card." But then I
Yeah.
realized I'm like, "Well, like, there's not really any, like, not a lot of major Uruguay like fighters."
Yeah,
in-
Ponzinibbio is from
yeah.
what, Chile or
Yeah.
Is that where he's
Yeah.
from? Or is he from Argentina? I think he's from Argentina.
I thought it was
It's one of those.
one of them. Yeah, it's in South America somewhere.
He was
Right.
at that fight with Masvidal and who's the other guy that was there? I don't know. There was someone else too.
Yeah, and apparently, I was reading something about Masvidal earlier, and I totally forget what it was. But
Dude, make the Edwards fight like that.
that's
needs
what
to
it was.
happen.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was
make
him
that
basically saying
fight.
like, talking smack to Leon Edwards. Yeah, that's the fight to make for welterweight.
Right? I think everyone can agree now
'Cause
after that.
Colby needs to go to
performance.
Kamaru. Like, there's no
That's
no doubt.
the fight. You got to see. They've
gotta do it.
they've put that fight on hold for a while. Like they've kept it in the back
For too long,
Yeah,
in my
and
opinion.
it's time to just get it over.
And
with.
as annoying as Colby is, as much of a villain as he is, like he's the guy. Like even when he beat Dos Anjos, I was like, "Yep, he's the guy."
Dude, when we were at that event, and I went in the bathroom, people were talking so much shit. Like there was the Colby fans, and then there was like the Lawler fans, and they were like going back and forth.
Wait, didn't you say they were arguing and stuff?
They were
in
like
the belly?
freaking
Right.
out in this bathroom. Like the guy was like, "Oh, your boy landed like 300 strikes and didn't even sit him down." Da 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 da. It's like, dude, well, he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
like,
right.
The entire
Yeah,
fight.
like Robbie couldn't
Yeah,
do anything.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything. It was not the Robbie Lawler that you're expecting.
Yeah.
You're like, I feel like so many people are thinking like when they see Robbie Lawler, they think like, okay, we're gonna get like a Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler fight.
No,
not as much anymore.
Not as much.
No.
Like I don't know what it was. Like it was just that high output that was like every time Colby threw something, he had to just like reset and like start over.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
what it was.
Seemed like, yeah,
but he just couldn't put anything together.
I mean, and it seemed like he was trying to like use head movement a lot, but not like counter with anything at any point. Like he was just kind of like almost looked like a points like head movement practice for him.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of like
he did it with RDA too. He was just kind of rolling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I remember that like he messed up his knee, so I kind of thought, okay, like that's why he's not moving as much. Right. But like it was basically the same thing here with Colby. But how much of that is not Robbie, losing whatever it is that he has? How much of it is Colby just dominating a fight? Like we've seen him do it multiple times.
Once you have a couple of those McDonald wars, dude, like, you're gonna leave some of that. It's gonna go away.
It is.
It's like shit.
And he's had more than a handful, dude. I mean, he's 2 stints in the UFC. Like,
he's had a great career.
I'm
just glad I got to see him live.
That's true. Yeah, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
But all right, so let's move on next weekend because I want to talk heavily about
one of the biggest fight cards of the year. Maybe
I would say
this one maybe MSG in November.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the Colby Usman fight.
Yeah, because I know John wants to get on there too.
Dude, yes.
At least I thought he did.
Yes.
He was like tweeting something about
but
it.
But who? Like
right, dude. Who would he fight that he hasn't already demolished?
Jan Blachowicz.
Like, dude, right? Like it's like it might happen just because like John wants to fight somebody, so he's gonna be like, I don't really care who it is, like just find someone on that roster.
Dominic Reyes. Like
that'd be kind of
because the timing works. Like
because he's fighting Corey Anderson, right?
Oh, is he?
Reyes?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
That's a good fight.
I think so
too. That's more appropriate also because people were saying that for a while too, like Dominic Reyes is in line for a title. It's like. He's good. Like he's definitely there, but I don't know if he's.
What kind of I don't want to say bothers me because like I think he's a great fighter and I think it'll be Chris Weidman. That's who it was that Reyes is fighting. That's right, Weidman in the mix now.
Oh yeah, why?
It's another light heavyweight like middleweight moving up to light heavyweight. Like I don't think it's like a safe haven. I don't think it's like a.
Dude, Reyes pulls this off title fight.
Probably.
Dude, right? Yeah.
Probably. Because of what else are you gonna do?
I think he's got a shot, right? We were just talking about when they move into that weight class, it can be problematic for people. So
like what's bad about Wyman, what's like sad about him is like his last couple of fights that he's lost, like he does great in them.
Yeah.
He does great in them until he doesn't anymore.
Until like Yoel Romero, just that flying knee.
Yeah, a Cuban missile. Dude, going right to his dome.
He lost to Masasi.
That was the one where he like had his hands down, and then they came up, and then Masasi kneed him, and then he acted like he was like hurt. To like I guess I don't know, get like a point out of it or disqualification. I don't know, but then like turns out it wasn't an illegal knee; it was a legal knee. So because he couldn't continue, they're like, well, you lost a fight.
No,
it was a very disappointing outcome.
Yeah,
but then he beat Kelvin Gastelum,
right?
Which was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then he loses to Jacare, but to me, he was winning that fight until he lost.
He was winning that fight. That was a crazy fight.
That was awesome. It was a great fight.
I remember they were saying, "Oh, rock'em sock'em robots."
That's right. Yeah.
Fight in a phone booth. They always say that shit like that.
Yeah, and then the buzzwords, dude, MMA buzzwords.
Mm-hmm.
But then he got clipped and then knocked out, and it was tough. Yeah. But like I think his wrestling is phenomenal. It's great wrestling.
All American.
Right. So like I think he could do well, but Dominic Reyes is he's an animal. He's an absolute animal. Like he had the Volkan Ozdemir, split decision. Ovin St. Preux, I remember thinking he won that. Cannonier. Like the list goes on.
He's undefeated, right?
Yeah, 11-0. Savage, man. Awesome. But Corey Anderson's fighting Johnny Walker. That's what I bet it was.
Yeah. Johnny Walker, dude.
People keep calling for like him to have a title shot, and it's like I'm all for it, but
not yet.
Right, give him time.
Yeah.
Like it's
only gonna help, right? If you have a little more time.
Right, yeah, a couple more fights, yeah. least I think he will. But yeah, okay. So then let's see. Corey Anderson, he fought Ilir Latifi, Glover Teixeira, Pat Cummins. Okay, right. I remember when he got knocked out by Vince St. Preux. That was a tough one. But anyway, all right, back to UFC 241.
Right.
So yeah, most likely the biggest card of the year so far.
So far, definitely, yeah.
Like you could argue 239 because of how it the word I'm looking for, like how it just happened. Like, Ben Askren getting knocked out in 5 seconds, that was like huge.
Oh, dude.
Amanda Nunes knocking out Holly Holm, huge. Like that card was huge because of the outcome of it. So we don't know how this one's going to go, but like, I mean, what is different now for Stipe Miocic and Dana Cormier too? Like,
what's going to change?
Yeah, as opposed to the first time they fought.
I think Stipe is going to look out for elbows. That's what got him, that short elbow, and then
it was a hook. It was a right hook,
short
but
hook.
but it was out of the clinch. They were leaving the clinch, and he connected. And I think he's just going to respect him more. He has to, unless I know he thinks that it was a fluke, so maybe he might be thinking like.
I hope he doesn't think it was a fluke, because it's not a fluke. Dude.
No, like Cormier. There's like interviews of him like before the fight saying he was going to do exactly what he did.
Yeah.
So like, it was
it's not a fluke.
It wasn't a fluke
DC,
entirely.
Dude.
DC's a savage.
I mean.
The weight carried over for sure.
Right.
For sure.
See, like, he seemed just so, like, isn't heavyweight DC undefeated?
Yeah, never
dude,
lost.
Like, what?
Strikeforce Grand Prix champion.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's another.
He's a savage. Yeah, dude.
Do you think we'll see DC? I have to ask. Do you think we'll see DC and Jones heavyweight 2020?
I think we'll definitely see 3, but apparently they both wanted to light heavyweight. But I think heavyweight would be the greatest place for it. That would be
for
awesome.
DC.
Well, yeah, no, it would be better for him, I would think. But I would like to see John Jones at heavyweight, just by himself. Like I think that would be like when he beat DC at 214, it was like okay. And then he talked about like fighting heavyweight against Brock Lesnar, and I thought that was awesome. I was like, this is like the best case scenario.
I remember that.
And then he got popped again, and then he tricked us. He bamboozled us another time, like he always does.
You know what's crazy? You can't talk about DC without mentioning John Jones. They're just those
the only
two
loss.
Are just
It's the only losses.
The only.
And it's
It's tough.
It's tough for him.
So are you gonna pick DC? Is that what you think?
I mean, I picked Stipe the first time.
All right.
Because I felt that he would.
See, I picked DC the first time. I think.
I picked Stipe the first time just because I thought like his stand up is great. He could keep him at range, and his wrestling's good too. Like he can stop a lot of takedowns from DC, stuff like that. And I felt like when he was using his range in their first fight, he was doing very well. It was that like he like kind of allowed DC to clinch up with him more than he should have, and I felt like he even engaged at points to clinch up with him, which I think is a bad idea. I think if he keeps distance and stays on the feet, he could win the fight. But I don't know, man. I think because like at the same time, then I remember like DC, like even people that stand up with him, like he's been fighting up his entire life. Like everyone's always bigger than him, like because he's fighting in like such a heavy weight class, but he's only like 5'11". So like he's always gonna be fighting guys. No, DC.
DC, yeah,
he's always gonna be fighting guys that are taller than him, longer than him, and it never has really been a problem for him. So like I would have to go with DC again. And logic is telling me DC again.
You're really good at your picks, dude. I've noticed.
Like. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's times where I get them way off. Like,
right.
Like
well,
when Joanna and Rose were fighting back when I was doing a show in college. Like I was like, I'm not even going to discuss this one because like
really?
Joanna's going to murder her.
Right.
And
I mean, everyone thought that. Like
yeah.
You weren't crazy to think that.
No,
just based on what you saw in the past. Like,
but I should have given her much more respect.
Yeah, and like that's
Rose.
something I think like is DC gonna like be like, oh, I whooped his ass the first time. Let me just fucking
I don't
do
think
the same
so.
thing. I don't think so either.
DC's
but,
too
like,
smart.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's what is the reason why he's has only lost to John Jones is because he takes every opponent very seriously and.
Yeah. But tell me how DC's
has great game plans.
Pound for pound number 1, yet John Jones is number 2. So
but John Jones beat him.
John Jones beat him twice.
It's a double belt, dude. Once you have a belt in 2 weight classes,
so.
like
I
you
guess
just
that's what it is,
skyrocket.
right? Yeah. That must
Like
be
to me, he's like Dana Cormier is like their guy now. Like he is like
a company
the
guy.
Like he's the UFC guy. Like he's
the favorite.
Yeah, like with Conor McGregor not fighting, like now they have like a dual champ, like light heavyweight and heavyweight. Like how badass.
And he's just got like such a good personality too. Like he's a nice guy. Like,
he's funny.
He's funny.
Right.
Everyone likes DC. Well, unless you're a John Jones.
Right. And then you hate him.
You just think he's like
Twitter's a cesspool with that shit.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever DC tweets anything, the crying face always comes back at some point in the comment section.
I'll admit, I like to look at the crying face from time to time to get a good laugh. I remember when Rogan interviewed him after he got like knocked into another planet.
That was tough, dude. Yeah.
Just like, oh god.
I was very sad, and then I remember feeling like happy because like John Jones was showing him respect, and then it was all for nothing, dude. It was all like, he popped again anyway, so none of this matters. Like, it's all.
Do you think they'll run it? You think they will run it back at light heavyweight?
Yeah. DC says he won't, but like,
bro,
he's a competitor. He wants that win.
Yeah.
He wants it bad.
Right.
We want it bad. John Jones, he wants it, even though he says he doesn't. Like they both say they don't want it, but whenever they're asked by each other, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'd still kick his ass." Like they're both like, so it's like they're planting the seed. Like it's happening at some point.
If they look at that paper, like the dollars involved, you gotta take the fight. Like think how much money.
Oh my, right. Yeah. Like John Jones is selling cards crazy as it is. Like just by himself.
You think so?
I mean, actually, I haven't seen the 239 numbers. I knew that was supposed to be like the test of like how great this ESPN deal is. Like is it viable?
I don't know if the numbers. I would have thought they came out by now, but
I'm sure they did.
They never tell you the exact like number either. They can only like give you an estimate or something.
Yeah, like between like this many and this many. Okay.
But aren't they? Isn't the UFC like a public company now? So, or they're owned by Endeavor, which is a public company. But
right. I'm trying to see how can I sort this, not by buy rate.
Dude, Endeavor's hiring in New York City right now. Get a job with Endeavor, bro.
Oh yeah, sure.
All the UFC secrets.
Right. That'd be cool, dude. I would really enjoy that actually.
DC to WWE.
Oh, what is this? This is from July 14th.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe he might. Cain Velasquez is doing pretty well with wrestling. It's not WWE, but it's No. I saw the highlights of it. It was pretty nuts, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Was he doing was it in the WWE?
No, it's the
Was it like the
Mexican wrestling? Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
Was it Lucha Libre? Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Dude,
I don't know.
It's crazy. Like theirs to me is like
more
less like chairs being slammed on dudes' backs and more like acrobatic.
Yeah.
Like dudes doing backflips and stuff off of like the ropes and trashing people.
I think I saw that clip. They were like he was like spinning around a dude kind of like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, so it looks like UFC 239 degraded the box office. ESPN UFC rumors point to around 300,000 buys on ESPN Plus. So yeah, that was kind of like the test. Like if it could get like 300,000 buys, like it's doing well.
So he got 300,000 buys.
It's rumored that it's around there.
Okay.
So they did pretty well.
I mean, the UFC loves John Jones too. He's kind of like
because people are gonna tune in. Like his fans are gonna tune in because they think he's the greatest, and like they want that vindication of like all the haters of like in your face, like you can't do anything about it. He's still the greatest, and then the people that hate him want to see him lose. Mm-hmm. And like usually every matchup he has, he's like the other person's like a big underdog. So like if that underdog wins, it's like holy crap, that guy beat John Jones. It's nuts.
Someone's gonna beat him someday, right? Or do we have
in
like
this
a Floyd
sport,
Mayweather situation? No.
I think the part of the reason Floyd is like so he's undefeated is because like he was very smart about who he fought.
Yeah.
And like I feel like John Jones is like I don't give a shit. Yeah. I want to fight all the time. So like give me everybody as soon as they're ready.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna end his career undefeated, but
dude,
I don't know if anybody can beat him.
I can't wait to see that loss.
Dude.
I mean, I like John Jones. I love seeing John Jones fight, but just something like
it's like a historic sport event. Yeah.
Anytime there's chaos in the sport, I just eat it up.
And speaking of chaos, there's when Nate Diaz fought Conor the first time was one of my favorite fights, and he's returning. Thank God, this weekend.
Finally.
Well, I'm still skeptical.
Really?
I'm not gonna feel comfortable until I see him walking out to the cage.
Oh, he just like bails. The
Like
day
I could see
before.
him just like,
Yeah,
nah,
me too. I've thought about that.
Like,
yeah.
nah, I'm gonna go ride a bike.
Pettis, what?
Dude, I feel like don't be surprised if Anthony Pettis does well.
I know. I think
Like,
Pettis will do very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
I think,
like-
yeah,
The Diaz brothers notoriously bad against leg kicks,
yeah.
and I just think Anthony Pettis is notoriously good at kicking. So like he
Showtime
could
kick.
just tear him up. But I feel like as it goes into the later rounds, like that's where Nate's gonna start taking over because he's just, to me, like he has like 3 major things. He has jiu-jitsu. So like even if you go on the ground with him, like you're in some kind of trouble because like he could really
Pull
tear you
something
up.
out of his ass.
Yeah. And just trash you. His boxing, which is very good, and then his cardio. But like his boxing and his cardio mixed together are like lethal.
His cardio, I think, is like, and he could just take a shot, dude.
And
Like,
that
that's
too,
like,
yeah.
like
4
he-
things, yeah. He's got a concrete chin. Like I feel like his output is going to be so much that like if Anthony Pettis doesn't like put him away quickly and not like knock him out, but like take away his mobility by like just kicking the shit out of his leg. If he doesn't do that, then Nate's gonna slowly take over as the fight goes on, where he's just gonna just pour on too much, like kind of like what Max Holloway did to Pettis, where he just kept pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, just pressure and just kept punching him in the face, and just wouldn't let him breathe. Like that's the
Right.
same style that Nate Diaz has. So if he does that, I think if it goes in the later rounds, Nate's gonna just slowly take over. But it's only a 3-round fight, so he doesn't
Yeah,
have
we'll
that
see.
much time to work with.
I'm very excited for that fight, man.
But I enjoy the bad blood the most. I think they don't like each other, which there's
it's not good. It's not
yeah,
good.
like any Nate Diaz fight. I mean, he doesn't like most people that he fights, but
Right.
like it's super exciting because like
Adds that extra layer
yes,
of drama,
yeah,
dude.
like
Yeah,
there's just something
absolutely.
about like 2 guys. Like it's always cool seeing people like shake hands and be respectful, but it's also cool to see people like
Settle it.
throw water bottles and shit at each other and like almost fight at the weigh-ins. Like
playing touch butt at that dude in the
Right.
park, or whatever he said.
right, like yeah, it'd be great. And then the Juice Bowl,
Coast
the Jamba Juice, Yalo Romero,
get it,
Romero,
dude.
excuse me, and Paulo Costa.
Dude, like, how do they pass? Like, do you think they're really natural, or do you think something's going on? What do you think?
USADA is
personally?
pretty good.
I know they are pretty good. So,
like
you
I
would
would think
they're
can't-
clean.
But then you look at them. I mean, you look at them, and it's just like that's a science experiment. That's not
Right,
real. Like that's not a
right.
person. Like
Cuban
that's
lab.
not like Yoel Romero's traps. Like are insane. Like they're huge. Like he doesn't have a neck. Like his traps go up to like his like. Look at this.
How old is he? Does
He's like
anyone really
40
know?
something,
Does anyone
like-
really know though?
Right.
Like-
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, what does it say he is? He's 42.
I mean, dude, that
According to
body at
Wikipedia.
42. What?
Right, like how do you retain that? And then you hear like Robert Whitaker, like I don't know if you've ever heard it, but there's a clip of him on, I don't know if it's his podcast or someone else's podcast. I think it's like Grange TV's podcast. And he's talking about like the difference of like when he fought him the first time and the second time, and how like the second time he felt like his body was just like harder. Like it there didn't like it didn't feel like a body to him. And it's like how he said he felt
Yeah.
like it was like a little weird how like at his
like wood.
age he's able to like have that transformation happen. Like it doesn't seem natural for
Right.
someone who's 41, 42 years old. But he's only had one issue, and it was not even his fault. It was a tainted supplement.
Yeah.
Like it was proven that it was a tainted supplement.
Wow.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, you got to think with as good as USADA is busting people,
Right.
I mean, and they get everybody, it seems, right? And you know they're testing him all the time, and like
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, to an extent, yeah. Like, but I like then you hear like George St. Pierre. He always like there's a lot of ways that you can like kind of get out of like testing. Like you could say like you're like hiking for like a couple days. Like that you can't take the drug test because he was hiking. Like you can't he's on a backpack retreat somewhere. So like you can't, and then all of a sudden he comes back conveniently when whatever it is and his system is out. Like fighters can do that. And George St. Pierre like
Right.
detailed it. It was like one of the things that made him not want to fight anymore when he first retired. So like I don't know, like there's ways around it, but until then he's clean. Until further notice, until something happens, there's he's completely clean. But he looks like a freak, man.
Yeah.
And Paulo Costa, same thing, dude.
Yeah.
Like he looked like I can't even. I'm speechless when I look at his body. Like ridiculous.
Dude, like how many girls do you think he goes home with after the fights? Like, like
as many as he wants.
Like, he goes to the after party, whatever.
Dude.
And then just like brings 4 or 5. Like
he could do. Yeah. How many wins does he have? That's how many girls he could probably bring.
Yeah.
In one night, like, dude, like, because he doesn't have. It's not just like his body, like, and then like, because like you look like Vanderlei Silva. Like, he's got a mean body, or like used to, but then like, then you see his face and you're kind of like,
Planet of the Apes.
Right. Right. Like, it's just like, no.
Right.
But then like Paulo Costa's got like, he's got a nice looking face, he's got the hair,
yeah,
and he's got the body that won't quit. It's just insane. 12-0. He's definitely bringing at least 12 women home. He could if he wanted to.
Dude, that Johnny Hendricks fight was just embarrassing. Because
I love Johnny Hendricks, and it was the end of his career. Was really upsetting, dude.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like I loved him. Like when he fought George St. Pierre the first time, like I thought he won. Like I still do. But then like look at this. Like he's killing it. He loses to Rick Story back in the day in 2010. Then goes right back to killing it. John Fitch, he sent flying like 30 yards. It felt like trashes Josh Kostick, loses a split decision to George. Beats Robbie Lawler, and then it was just mayhem after that. Yeah. Loses to Robbie Lawler, beats Matt Brown, knocked out by Wonderboy, knocked out by Kelvin Gastelum, decision to Kelvin Gastelum, decision to Neil Magny, beats Hector Lombard. I remember that was his first fight at middleweight, and I'm like, oh, my boy's back.
Yeah.
And then he fought Tim Boach and just got
wrecked,
murdered. And then Paulo Costa.
The Thompson fight was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, it was, dude. He bullied him, he just bullied him. Wonderboy just put on a clinic, essentially.
Is he still in a restaurant or something? What happened? Didn't he, like, open a restaurant or a steak place or something?
He did,
I don't know what it was.
Which is kind of ironic, given his weight cutting issues. But, yeah, he did. And, like, I've heard he also has, like, not a very good, like, he didn't have, like, a great contract. Like, the type of contract that it was. I forget what it's called, but it's, like, where you give like a flat rate or like a certain percentage no matter what to like a gym, but they pay for like everything for you. They pay for like housing, like food, nutrition plan, like all this other stuff, but you have to give like literally like 50% of like your purse or something like that to them. But
yeah, because like doesn't he have like a family and like a house, or like why does he have to like pay for all that shit?
Right. Yeah, right. I mean, maybe like I guess back in the day when he was like first starting, like, fighters don't have a lot of money. They have like almost no money.
Right.
And then like having a situation like that is really nice, but now like in hindsight, it's like he never really needed it. But yeah, okay, it was Big Rig Steakhouse, and he has since closed it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I mean, dude, I feel like the worst thing you can do when you come into money is open a restaurant.
I know.
Like you're just throwing money into a hole. You might as well throw it into a well.
It's a tough investment.
Yeah.
Although you think about it, you're just like, man, that would be fun to own a restaurant. Like it would be a cool.
I feel like it would. I feel like I used to think like that, and then I worked in restaurants, and I was like, this is awful. This sucks.
Restaurants do suck. Yeah.
Yeah, like you got to be like if you're an owner who cares.
Yeah.
Like not like where we used to work, where the owner didn't give a shit. Like we did give a shit, but he didn't care about the employees. He just cared about the money.
Yeah.
Like if you really care like about the quality of like your like the food and everything like that, like you have to be there like all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like no thanks, man.
Dude.
Like I watch like Kitchen Nightmares and these people like retire and like I used all my retirement money to open a restaurant. Are you fucking stupid? That is the stupidest thing you could have done.
I'd like to just retire
and just
chill.
Like you retired and then you immediately started a career
working
from
again?
like the very bottom. Like what are you doing? Come on, what are you doing? But okay, all right. Who else is on this card? And then we got
Sadiq Youssef.
Gabriel Benitez and Sadiq Youssef. Yeah, that's a good fight. Looking forward to that one too. Derek Brunson again.
Tough. He's had a tough go recently.
He has. Yeah, his last fight was what, Israel, right?
I think so.
I
think he's had one since then. Maybe. No, I don't know.
You might be right.
I think he also lost. I don't know.
He beat Elias Theodorou. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I remember that, and then they cut the guy, which a lot of people thought was weird.
I didn't think it was that weird. He's not like a star. He's just kind of there.
He had the attractive thing. He had the Fabio hair.
Right,
but then like you see his fights. His fights were very
boring,
lackluster. Yeah, pretty boring. Yeah, and then so before Elias Theodorou lost to Adesanya, no fault there, dude.
Yeah,
He's a monster.
Nothing to be sad about.
Right. Jacare, another one not to be sad about. Beat Machida. He's old. Beat Dan Kelly, also old. And then loses Anderson Silva and Robert Whitaker, 2 savages.
Right, Hollis, pretty good. Pretty good win.
Yeah, that's true. Sam Alvey,
Alvey,
Ed
good
Herman.
win. Lorenz Larkin, that's awesome win.
Yeah. Yoel, again, you can't really fault the guy. Yeah, now we're going way back. But yeah. I don't know. He just seems... I feel insensitive saying sloppy. But, like, kind of sloppy at point. Like,
he's over the hill.
no, I'm not saying not that. Like, I just feel like his style is very... It's more wild. It's not, like, technical. It's not fine-tuned.
It is wild, yeah.
So, like, that's why, like, guys like Anderson Silva and Adesanya and Whitaker, like, pieced him up because, like, it wasn't... Like, he's just sloppy. He's more...
Right.
I shouldn't say sloppy. I should say wild. He's more wild than anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know how it's going to go against Ian Hench.
Is it Heinz?
Heinz, yeah.
I don't know.
Could be. Heinisch. Well, okay, well, he's from... Okay, American. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I was thinking German.
Yeah, right. And, okay, Antonio Carlos. Okay, I do remember that after that fight. Antonio Carlos Jr., Cesar Ferreira. Okay, so he's on his way up. He was just an LFA like a little bit ago. He was on the Contender Series with a vicious knockout with elbows. I do remember this dude. Yeah, I remember that fight.
Yeah.
And then 2 unanimous decisions. One back in May. So a quick turnaround for him, dude, against Derek Brunson, too. That is...
See, if you're in the Contender Series, you're going to get a good shortcut.
Yeah, right.
To the top.
But, all right, what else is on this card? Because I know the prelims we were talking about earlier had some solid fights.
This one.
There it is.
Yeah, this one.
Rafael Sunsao, Corey Sandhagen. I'm with you. Like, I don't understand why that is so... I mean, I do. Like, I guess, like, headlining the prelims, so, like, people will tune in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that is a banger, dude. That is, like, a sleeper fight. Like, if you're not paying attention to that fight, pay attention to that fight because it's going to be dope.
Dude, he beats a Sunsao. Might be getting a title shot, potentially.
Yeah,
it's pretty stacked at the top there.
He could be thrown in the mix for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. John Lineker. That's who it was that he beat.
That's who it was.
When I was trying to think of it earlier. Yeah. Which is no fault,
I
man.
mean, maybe he beats Lineker and then does well in this fight, and then maybe he does one more.
I would say, maybe like one more.
Maybe one more, yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know what's going on with that division. I don't know what Cejudo's doing. I would like to see him fight Joseph Benavidez down at flyweight.
Absolutely.
But now Frankie Edgar came down, and now he's talking crap to Frankie Edgar. Yeah.
Dude, that's an interesting fight, though.
It is, but, yeah, like, I don't know. For a guy who claims he wants to save the flyweights and then he's not fighting a flyweight at all anymore, it's like, I would like to see, would like to see him fight a flyweight, Henry. I'd like to see him fight a flyweight at some point. Again. Especially now that it's, like, coming back up. Like, it's, Manny Bermudez, Casey Kenny, I think another one that is going to be solid. Like, Casey Kenny is very technical as well. He's the guy who beat Ray Borg in Philadelphia.
Robbery.
Yes, wasn't happy about that. But, all in all, though, a fantastic card.
Yeah.
Like top to bottom.
I think it's definitely worth, what, $60, $70?
$65,
$65. I think it's worth it.
The main card alone, I feel like, is worth, like, there's 3 fights with
if you're a
DC,
fan, I guess.
Stipe, Pettis and Diaz, and then Romero Costa, 100%. But, okay, we can move over to the next thing now. So we were talking about Frankie Edgar just a minute ago, moving down to bantamweight. I feel like that's kind of big news.
Okay.
So, does he get an immediate title shot? Like, he just lost the title shot. Granted, it was to Max Holloway, and granted, he did very well.
I don't think he should get an immediate
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
but, then who does he fight in his first fight? Like, I don't think he should fight Sterling, because I feel like Sterling
He's fighting Peter Yan, or is that who he's fighting?
I don't know. I know they've been talking about it. Yeah, I know that's one of the fights they're thinking about making. But, I mean, he's a beast, man. He really is a beast. Like, he beats Cub Swanson, Uriah Faber, Chad Mendez. He knocked him out in the first round. Frankie Edgar, this is. Loses to Jose Aldo, but, again, can't blame the guy. Can't really fault him. Jeremy Stevens, he beats by decision with a messed up knee and back. Both were trash, and he still beats him. Yair Rodriguez, he beat the crap out of so bad he couldn't even see. That was a tough one to watch. Loses to Brian Ortega. horribly, in a horrible
Yeah,
fashion.
Yeah, literally, I think his feet lifted
did.
off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Brian Ortega's my man.
He's a beast. Yeah, my girlfriend was devastated. She felt like she described it as like watching her father get knocked out. Like that's how much she loves Frankie Edgar, and to see him literally go into the air.
Yeah, he should have rethought that, taking that fight. It was like a short notice thing, right? Like Brian Ortega came in and like took the opportunity.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and Ortega's a savage, but then
right.
Frankie beats Cub, and then he fights Max and loses that by decision as well. But all in all, a good fight. I felt like Frankie fought a very smart fight against Max. But right, like I don't know what Aljamain Sterling's doing. I don't know if he is fighting Peter Yan. I don't think he is yet. I know it's been talked about. Yeah.
There was talk about what, Moscow or something.
Yeah, there was, and he was saying like, "Screw that, dude." Like, he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm not going over in hostile territory to fight this guy, especially in Moscow of all places."
Yeah, right.
I'm with him too.
Yeah,
That's kind of a big ask. But I mean, he's a monster too. Like, it's funny. Like when he got knocked out by Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, like I thought like that might be a career-changing knockout, and then he comes back, wins a decision against Brett Johns, gets that knee bar submission with Cody Stamann, where he was like had back mount and did the knee bar, which Zabit Magomed Sharapov did the same exact type of submission, the same fight card, nutty. And then he beats Jimmy Rivera, which is a big one, and then he beat Pedro Munoz, and he trashed Pedro Munoz. He didn't like beat the crap out of him to the point like it was violent and awful, but he like handled him.
Dude, give Frankie fucking Cody Garbrandt.
I remember when Cody was champion, they were like Frankie was talking about that because like I don't think he fought Brian Ortega yet, but he had like lost to Aldo, and he was like, like he just wants to get another belt, and he was talking about how he's like, I could easily get down to 135, like it's not really, like he walks around at like 145, like it's not an issue. But
that'd be interesting, right?
But yeah, I mean, it would be
tough fight for Cody Garbrandt.
It will be a tough fight for Cody Garbrandt. But again, like, dude, he's a college wrestler, great boxer. Like, he's a great fighter. He just gets caught at points and then panics, and then like, I wouldn't say panics, but like he just then it becomes like a brawl. Yeah, right. He's a fighter. That's and that's the best way to describe it, is that he's just a fighter. So like when he gets hit like that, he starts swinging like a freak.
All systems go.
Yeah. But it's weird because like when Cody beat Dominic Cruz, I thought like, okay, that's big because like he outpointed a point fighter. Like he looked great in that fight, and I thought like, okay, it's gonna be tough to beat him in the future. And then like it seemed like then he just went back to like, I'm gonna get hit and I'm just gonna start throwing like a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if he did that in the Dom fight, Dom would have just pieced him up.
Right.
Like it looked just different. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Cody go or fight against Frankie.
Who else is available? Let's take a look.
Okay, so we got Henry Cejudo, obviously, Marlon Moraes, but and I forgot about this. Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, and Frankie are all teammates. So I feel like that's like a last, unless they're fighting for like a title or a title shot. It's the only reason why that fight would happen.
Yeah, they're at Sarah and Longo, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, up in Long Island.
Yeah, and then Sunsal's fighting Sandhagen. Okay.
Maybe you give Sandhagen gets by Sunset. You give him.
He could be the winner of that fight. Yeah, dude, that would actually be pretty solid. I know Peter Yan. I don't know if I would say he called out Frankie, but it was like a thing of like, if you're looking for a fight, I'd be down. Which is a very tough fight to be introduced to bantamweight. Again, like it's not like moving down is not like it's going to be like a free ride, like in any division anymore. Like there's still murderers down there too.
Yeah.
And like Frankie is a small featherweight as it is, so it's not like he's going to have like a huge size advantage. Like you have guys like Dominic Cruz, who is like 5'11" pretty much. Like he's going to tower over guys like Frankie. Like he's just bigger and taller. But I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like I feel like Jimmy Rivera would be a good one.
Yeah.
Like if I'm Frankie, like I wouldn't mind like going after Jimmy Rivera because he's been on a little bit of a losing streak, and for Jimmy Rivera it's good too because it's like you could fight against Frankie Edgar, and that would put him right back in. Like you fought a former champion from 2 weight classes up. Granted, it was a long time ago, but still. I I mean, any of these, like anybody who's really available. Pedro Munoz, that'd be a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Dominic Cruz fight anybody at this point.
Yeah, just get healthy.
Right. It's funny how like Cody Garbrandt beat Dominic Cruz. That was Dominic Cruz's last fight, and he's now above Cody Garbrandt because Cody Garbrandt has lost 3 times in that time span since Dominic Cruz's last fought. But Cody Garbrandt, another one, I think that'd be great. Jim Rivera, another good one. Cody Stamann, like anybody here, I think would be good. Uriah Faber, like they fought once before, maybe like a rematch thing coming up, like for his first fight back.
Right.
But yeah, any of them, dude. Like I think it'd be fun. But I don't think it's going to be like I said. If he fights Peter Yan, that's a tough fight. Munoz, tough fight. Cruz, Garbrandt.
The division's stacked.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, moving on. The other thing I want to talk about too, Aspen Ladd. Have you read about that?
Oh yeah, did you see the footage of her?
Yeah, right.
Almost collapsing in the. It looks
Yeah,
like she
dude.
was like, not that she was like crying, but she was like wincing in pain.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
She was like shaking.
Yeah,
Like, it was
suspect.
It was tough to watch.
And like she's all like, I get it. It's like if it was like maybe this was her first time having issues with the weight cut like
Right.
that, but like this was not the
No.
first time
No.
she's had problems with this weight cut. So I kind of get California taking her license. away
Yeah,
for
me
a little
too.
bit,
Like, especially if, there's I feel like all the time you see people like complaining about organizations not doing enough for the fighters in terms of safety with weight cutting.
yeah.
And like a lot of people are praising one for their like a system, which I'm not like, I don't know, I've heard is kind of suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hard to monitor those things, but like they test like urine and blood and all kinds of stuff like during the fight week to make sure you're not cutting too much blood.
Yeah, they test like water levels or something. Is that what it is?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know the science behind it.
All right.
But like their goal is to prevent weight cutting essentially. But I think this is like a step in the right direction. Like finally somebody's doing something about it. Where like they're not just saying like, oh, this is awful, we're gonna get a replacement fighter. Like they're actually saying like, no, you can't make this weight.
California, Nevada, dude.
Like
Gold
you just
standard.
can't. Yeah. Like yeah. And I think like Mackenzie Dern, they would probably do the same thing with like she.
Oh. She's
Like
had
when she comes
problems.
back, like she's just big. She's too big
Yeah.
to cut down like that much. And it's not, I'm not trying to say that in an offensive way, but like
Right.
it's just it's like a cyborg thing. Like there's a video of Cyborg cutting down to
That's
140 where she's like
about to
crying.
die.
Like, yeah,
Like, just,
it's tough to freaking watch, man. Like Darren Till going blind, like that one video. Like it's just like,
he
dude,
should just go up to middleweight and just stop.
yeah, he's got the frame for it.
Absolutely.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a boy.
But yeah, so so basically what's going to happen is like their team expects other states' commissions to honor her being not allowed to fight at bantamweight anymore. So even though it's only California that said like you're not allowed, they expect like other states to be like, well, if you're not going to fight there, you can't fight here either.
I mean, like I said, it's like, California, Nevada say something. The other states are like, oh,
Right.
These guys know what they're doing. Maybe
Yeah,
we should take-
right.
Yeah.
So like her next fight is Yana Kunitskaya in Washington D.C. So like, I guess like what their plan, from what they said, was they're going to have like a nutrition plan set up for her that she has to follow, and then like they're going to be monitoring her like levels. I guess I don't know throughout fight week. I don't know if it's like 2 weeks out. I don't know how long they're going to be doing it for. But I mean, hopefully she goes through it fine. Like she's had issues throughout her entire career. Like the first time she missed weight was Invicta against some girl named Jessica Hoy. It was like, what was it? Yeah, July 29th, 2016. Invicta FC 18, and she ended up winning. Like she gave up 20% of her purse, but still won round 2 TKO. But then it happened again during her debut. I mean, she didn't miss weight that time. She made weight, but she couldn't fight the day of the fight because of health issues. And it's widely rumored and pretty much, I can't say fact 100% for sure, but it's highly implied that it was weight issues that caused it. And that was her debut. She's supposed to be fighting against, who was it? Leslie Smith? Yeah, Leslie Smith.
Leslie Smith.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Jessica I. Jessica I. That's what it was.
Okay.
Leslie Smith, she did miss weight against. And that was the fight that got Leslie Smith cut. Because they could have met at catch weight, and Leslie Smith was like, no. And so they paid her show money, and they were like, see ya, hit the road.
That's
like, messed up.
Sorry, she's like standing up for herself. Right.
Right,
Like,
yeah, right.
yeah.
Like she did her job. She showed up. She made weight. She's ready to go. But Aspen Ladd was Aspen Ladd. And so they were like, okay, if you're not going to fight, you're gone. Like, that's why she's so pro-union now, because, like, they're allowed to do that, which is messed up.
Yeah,
like, that's
it
not,
is.
you know. Like, she did her job. She showed up ready to go, and they were like, yeah, well, nope.
Right.
You're not going to fight a girl who didn't make weight. Even though Aspen Ladd, like, she had to give a 20% of her purse and also offered, like, $5,000 on top of it.
It's like that unspoken rule kind of a thing. It's like
the principle.
Yeah, you have to, like, do it even though, right?
Yeah,
even though your
right.
opponent didn't make weight.
Yeah, like the UFC's like, you can say no, but like if you say no,
There's going to be
always going to
consequences.
remember that.
Yeah,
Right. Which is sad.
Yeah, that sucks for the fighter. Like,
yeah. Like, I remember, like, I was in an internship, and I saw, like, it got an update that's what happened, and I was just like, that is awful. Like, that's wrong. That's messed up, dude. Like, who would... If I heard of, like, any other job where that was, like, happening regularly, I would be like, I'm not going to work for this company. Because, like, this is a nightmare, dude. But, yeah. Then the time she fought against Jessica Eye, it was her UFC debut, and she, like, had issues with, like, illnesses. Is what it was claimed on. That's what it says on Wikipedia, that she had an issue with illness, which is why she pulled out of the fight. But it's weight-cutting issues, essentially. So, I don't know. I mean, her last fight, she lost to Jermaine de Rondamay in a controversial end. Some people think.
She has a lot of controversial ends.
Yeah. yeah, she does. Yeah. But, like, I see what people were saying. Like, they could have given her more time. Like, she kind of got, like, hit, knocked down, and, like, wasn't really given a chance to, like, try to get back up. They just kind of ended it. But she was in a tough spot. Jermaine de Rondamay hits really hard, and she was in a tough spot. But, yeah, I mean, before that, just trashing people. Her first fight, TKO, submission, TKO, decision to Sijara Eubanks, TKO, decision to Sijara Eubanks twice. And then, yeah, knocked out again by herself. But, tough
go. I don't know. I think she'll be back.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I think if the weight thing becomes an issue, I wouldn't be surprised if she moved up to 145, but I don't know what's going to happen with that division in the UFC anymore now that Cyborg is gone. Like, even on their website, like, they just have Amanda Nunes as champion. They don't have a division for the featherweight.
Right.
Like, yeah, she can't really move up because there's not really a decision or a division to move up into.
It's like, hey, fighters that aren't having a ton of success at bantamweight, maybe they
take a crack at the belt.
They're like, do you want a shot at a title?
Right.
Yeah.
That we reign over nobody because nobody is there.
Maybe not even fighters that, like, aren't having success, like, that are having success, but, like,
right.
they're just looking
We want to mix some stuff up.
an opportunity. I don't know.
Like, it's how is Amanda Nunes feeling? Like, does she want to cut weight to 135 or just stick at 145?
Yeah.
And I think that's how it decides. Like, okay.
She's kind of the best spots. Like, if there's a belt, you're going to have, if you're going to have an additional belt, that women's featherweight belt is the belt to have.
Yeah, because it's not like you have to defend it too often.
Exactly,
right, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a savage. All right, and then finally, okay, so apparently in the interview that Dana has with Cyborg, he talks about The Ultimate Fighter and wanting to bring it back. And there's rumors that he talked to FX about that because Disney bought 20th Century Fox, which owns FX, which I always thought was owned just by, like, Fox itself, but apparently that's not the case. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, I just don't. Would that be necessary? Like, he says, like, it adds character to the fighters, and I agree with that. Like, it adds like a story essentially almost with the characters. You can see kind of where they grew up, but, like,
I don't know. I think Tough should just kind of be. I think they should just stop doing it. Like, it's how it's run, right?
I feel the same way. Like, when they first started it, like, every season the ratings are just, like, lower and lower and lower, like, bit by bit.
Is it like a contractual obligation to have to keep doing it? Like,
I don't know.
Is it like something like maybe behind the scenes that's making them having to keep it going?
I think the only thing it could be would be that it saved the UFC, like, years ago. Like, when the Fertitta brothers first bought it, like, the Zuffa era first started, and, like, they had that, who was it? Stephen Bonner and
Forrest Griffin.
Forrest Griffin,
Yeah, save the company.
Yeah, so like I feel like it's a thing of like, you know, we owe this show.
But even still, it's like if it's not, I guess if it's making some money, they'll keep it, right? But if it's losing money, they're gonna be like, okay,
right,
fuck
get it out of
this.
here. Yeah.
But, so maybe it's not losing money, and it's making a little bit so they can justify keeping it on, kind of a deal.
And like when I watched it, like the last one I watched was the T.J. Dillashaw Cody Garbrandt season because of them. Like they legit hate each other. Those are always the best seasons to watch because they like were about to throw down every episode. It was fantastic. Cody Garbrandt was just like he's never been caught doing steroids, but that like looked like roid rage. Like that's the only thing I can compare it to. Like I'm not saying he was on and like
he grabbed his neck or
dude,
something.
yeah, like he just would go from 0 to 100. Like he would just snap like immediately. Like TJ would be like oh, it's sunny outside today. He's like, you motherfucker, like immediately get in his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even then, as entertaining as it was, the only parts that I really like cared about were the actual fights, and then when they would be fighting, like not in the octagon, just with each other, like arguing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. And
most seasons like aren't like that because most seasons like the coaches don't really hate each other. Like sometimes they do. Sometimes you get lucky, like Yuan and Claudia, like they hate each other.
Yeah.
But like the last season was like DC Stipe. And I can't find a single person on this planet that has watched a single episode of that season.
I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah.
No.
Because like to me, it's just like the first week, it's just like first couple weeks, it's just like okay, this guy came from like you see like their background where they came from, and then after that, it's just like training, maybe like a little fun game every once in a while, and then the fight. And I feel like Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, you're skipping like it's the same thing, you're just skipping right to the fight.
Yeah.
Which is like the entertaining part. Like that's what you're looking forward to. Like you sit down for 40 minutes and the first like 25, 30 minutes are just them leading up to the fight, and it's like you just cut that off and just leave the fight at the end. That's what the Contender Series is, and I feel like that's the whole point of the show anyway.
Yeah.
So like I just don't feel like you need it.
Yeah. I love the Contender Series. I'm a fan. Of that show.
I know you are.
Yeah. I watch it every week basically. It's just it's just good to see it MMA during the week, right? You get back from work, sit down, MMA's on. It's great.
Right. Yeah.
And like one thing that kind of pisses me off about the Contender Series is like every fighter for every fighter they have like this like sad backstory. Like how on American Idol and shit they would have people like talk about their like
some war veteran,
some crazy thing that happened in their life.
Yeah.
But and that's all fine and dandy. But really, all I want to see is like, I just want to see them fight and like see what they can do. Like
right.
Like that's all great, and I guess it's to build their story up and get to know them and stuff.
Right.
But really, what me personally, and I think a lot of people I've talked to is like we just want to see what they can do. Right. It's prospects.
Yeah. Right.
Like
again, like that's why I feel like you don't need the Ultimate Fighter because like. It's 20 minutes of like that sad story,
right?
It's just like
it's like good with the Contender Series, I guess. It's like that
because like it's condensed, seconds. Right? Yeah. Like I feel like it's just I feel like this is the new tough, and it's like much more efficient, and I feel like it's getting like people into the like fighters physically into the UFC quicker, whereas like you have like the Ultimate Fighter TV show, like you have of course the guy who wins is always going to get in. And then like a couple other people on the card, like in the show, like 3 or 4 people might actually like get a contract, but most of them like just fizzle out half the time. Whereas like the Contender Series, like I feel like every week you're having like 3-4 people getting a contract.
Yeah, always. I mean, there was one week this season where every winner got a contract,
right?
Because they were just all awesome,
And there you get, and then you have like boom, 6 brand new fighters, and like that people have seen because like because the Contender Series is like a big thing for the most part, from what I've understood.
I mean, it's not as big as probably Tough was in its heyday, but I think for most like shows like that, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
and a sports show like that,
right? And I feel like back in Tough, that was like the old kind of like cable thing where like you're turning it on because like you have nothing else to watch, whereas now everything's like streamlined, like you can just pick and choose whatever you want to watch,
right?
So I feel like it works better for how people consume now, like the Contender Series. So but all right, finally I guess we could just make some final picks for UFC 241. We can make it a nice little rapid thing. Okay, so DC Stipe 2, who you got?
I'm gonna pick DC.
I'd probably pick DC too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go DC as well.
Usually it's like when when they do a like a rematch, the guy wins again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Usually more dominating fight. Like,
right.
you think TJ Henan Barrow,
Yeah.
like, he fought him the second time, trashed him.
Right.
Like, yeah, I agree, 100%. Yeah, I think like if Stipe can keep it on the feet, and if he can do a good job of keeping the distance and using his own reach, then it would work out for him. But DC, like, he has Javier Mendez. Like, they game plan extremely well, and I think they're going to do extremely well at stopping whatever Stipe is going to try to do. I love my dog. She's great. Okay, so then Anthony Pettis, Nate Diaz. This one's tough.
Yeah,
this one's tough for me.
I'm gonna pick Nate, dude. Why not, right?
Yeah,
I think he's got a good shot.
I mean,
he's got a good shot. I think people will be like, "Oh, count him out and stuff," but I think that's when he really
yeah,
shines.
and I think they might count him out too because like he hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah.
But it's like he also went on like a 2-year hiatus before he fought like Gray Maynard.
Yeah,
and he trashed Gray Maynard, beat the crap out of Gray Maynard. So like I don't think that really matters. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Nate as well because I think Anthony Pettis is going to do very well in the first round, but I think Nate's eventually going to slowly take over and just pour too much pressure on.
He's really comfortable when there's people that like when he like really hates his opponent. I think he's like super comfortable with that. Yeah, and I think he does better.
100. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's like the opposite of Cowboy. Cowboy likes to be friends with the guys he fights.
Yeah, and he murders them.
Yeah,
it's like kind of sad.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like they're like hugging, and then one of them's dead.
Right.
Okay, and then Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa.
I'm gonna pick Yoel.
It's hard not to pick Yoel.
Yeah.
Like, it's to me, it's the only division where like there's a guy in the division who I think like even more than the champion, this guy's more dangerous.
He is.
Like I think Whitaker beat him both times. Like the second time was very debatable.
Dude,
I saw it as more of a draw.
Yeah, I thought it was a draw as well.
Than anything, yeah. But I would say still draw, but still go to the champion. And Romero like also missed weights. Like there's that aspect of it thrown into it too. But yeah, like to me, anybody like if I give more fighters a better shot to beat Whitaker than Yoel. Like if Adesanya was fighting like Yoel, I would be like Yoel. I'm gonna pick him easily,
dude. I think Yoel would eat him up.
Like
dude.
Right, like that. I feel the same way. Like
it's just
he's
maybe not, but
like Adesanya's great at managing distance as well. Like he's like very good at like not letting people get too close. But like to me, Yoel Romero, like you can hit him all you want. It's not gonna do anything. Like it's not gonna stop him at all.
And it's like someone with Whitaker's power too. He just is like he's hurt, I guess, but like he carries himself well.
Yeah, it doesn't even
right. Like
and even like Rob like Whitaker, like he dropped Whitaker like multiple times.
And he's
like,
as tough as they come.
Right.
Yeah.
Like and I would say I would have Whitaker beating Adesanya as of now.
Yeah.
Me personally, yeah.
I don't really know who would win that fight. Like I'm thinking it's like
it is that type of fight. I agree.
Yeah. It's like you look at what happened with Kelvin and Adesanya, and it's like, well,
Adesanya's a real deal.
Yeah, he's
100%.
a real deal.
Yeah. Like he showed adversity in that fight. He was really hurt. He just pushed through.
I think the best way you can judge a fighter is how they handle adversity.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, Adesanya definitely had adversity in
that
fight.
And yeah.
Overcame.
But like that's how much I fear and respect Romero. Whereas like that Adesanya versus Whitaker, I'm like, it could go either way. I would say Whitaker, but like Adesanya versus Romero, like Romero. Like I don't even waste any time like thinking like Romero is probably going to win that fight.
I think Romero wins this fight.
I think so too.
Yeah,
he's just a savage. He terrifies me.
Not to say Costa can't take a shot, but dude, this is another animal.
Right.
Dude, this is something. Yeah.
You haven't fought anybody
like if it came out that like Romero was from another planet, I'd be like, okay, all right, yeah,
right.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, yeah, no, I agree. To me, he's like a boss in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like he's beyond Mike Tyson. Like you beat Mike Tyson, good. You have to fight Yoel Romero now.
That's a good way of
like
that.
it's insane. He's a video game boss.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabriel Benitez versus Sodiq Yusuff. Yusuff he's a contender series boy, right?
He is. Yeah, from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Sadiq.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that fight's a toss up. But
I think it's a toss up too. But
Sadiq's a savage, man. Yeah. I think he's
super Sadiq.
So you're right. Yeah,
that's what they call him.
He's a savage. Yeah, I agree. Derek Brunson, Ian Heinisch. Excuse me if I'm getting your name wrong, dude.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
I don't know. I mean, you could say with this, like, this is probably Ian's first big fight, I guess.
Yeah,
like, this is
yeah,
a big,
it is.
legit contender.
It's make or break time.
Make or break. Yeah, you beat Brunson. We're going places.
Yeah, like you can
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This is like a possibly like a career defining
Right.
fight at this point.
Yeah. I'll take Brunson. I think he's due to go off.
Okay. Yeah.
Beat a young, hungry guy.
I was thinking Ian actually.
Okay.
Myself, so I'm gonna go with him. Devontae Smith, Clay Collard. I know Clay Collard is a beast. I don't know much about Devontae Smith, but I do slightly remember his last fight, and I remember being pleasantly surprised by him as well. But I got to look him up first to be able to confirm exactly what fight that was. King Cage. I do remember his last nickname too. Dong Hyun Ma. That's right. And TKO. I do remember that. Yeah.
He hasn't fought in a minute.
No.
I guess it's
February.
I guess he
yeah.
fight twice a year. That's pretty good. But
that's solid.
yeah, it's solid.
Yeah, he was originally supposed to fight John McDessie. I do remember that. And then I don't know what happened with McDessie, but he can't fight. Fighting Clay Collard. Collard's a vet. It's been around a while.
So I think they're trying to make Devontae Smith make a name for himself off this fight.
Maybe, yeah. Like I think, well, he was supposed to be fighting against John McDessie, which I thought was supposed to be like a solid stand-up fight, like almost a brawl. Not as much a brawl; they're a little bit more technical, but I thought it was going to be like really solid in that aspect. And then Clay, he's like kind of like a grinded out type of guy at points. I feel like, like I don't remember the last time he fought. And like to me, that's like kind of saying something. Like it wasn't a super memorable fight the last time he fought. I'm fucking this all up. But let's see, Cassius. I like that. Did not know that was his nickname.
That's cool.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. He was in Steel. Okay, that's okay. He has not been in the UFC for a while. That's why it was so long ago that I don't remember that fight. And it was a loss. So this is his first fight back in the UFC. Okay.
Oh, so he's coming back to the UFC.
Yeah, he was in Steel Fist for a while. Won by two of the 4 fights, went 3-1, lost one by a rear naked, but then won by a triangle, won by a TKO twice. Got TKO'd by Max Holloway. Then one decision win, a couple decision losses. Yeah, I think that Smith is going to win this for sure.
Yeah.
I think that he's like, to me, he's like just getting into the game, whereas Clay Collard is more of like I'm going to bring my like lunch pail to get the fight done kind of thing.
Okay.
When it comes to the UFC at least, whereas Smith is like got that hunger of like, I could be something.
Yeah, I was going to pick Smith too.
Yeah. Sun Sal and Corey Sandhagen.
Sandhagen. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I think this is his time, dude. This is his time.
I think Sun Sal is like one of the more underrated.
He is
fighters,
extremely underrated. But
for sure.
Sandhagen's the future. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's go time. Let's get it.
He looked impressive against Lineker.
Yes.
He for sure looked impressive against Lineker. Again, Lineker's like he's not as like
not a walk in the park.
No,
yeah.
But he's not as like technical as Rafael is.
Rafael's super technical.
Very technical, and I think like Rafael is like.
Yeah, you beat him,
underrated,
dude,
man. Like
you're in the title picture.
Yeah, 100%. Like his last fight was Marlon Moraes, where he got cracked with a head kick and then put into a guillotine.
Oh, he actually beat Marlon Moraes.
That was Marlon Moraes' first fight in the UFC when he got signed over from World Series of Fighting, which is now PFL. Yeah. And I kind of thought Moraes actually won that fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean it's. I love that fight. I'm super excited for that fight. I'm going to have to go with Sun Sal, though. I just feel like he's a savage. He's a beast. Jakar Close, Christos Giagos. I'm going Jakar Close.
Yeah, I'll go Jakar Close.
He's got that he's a Michigan boy coming from Detroit. I don't know much about Giagos, I will admit, so he might be a savage too. But Jakar Close. I see that Detroit or that Michigan tattoo on somebody. I'm like, I'm going to steer clear, dude. Manny Bermudez, Casey Kenny. I would go Casey Kenny.
I don't know. Let me see Manny Bermudez's last couple of fights.
Okay, because like I go Casey Kenny because I feel like he does a very good job of just controlling fights, like he did against Ray Borg. Like Ray Borg, I thought Ray Borg beat him. I thought he was robbed.
Dude, I don't know.
But
look at these names, dude. He's undefeated.
he's a
legit.
motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very good on the ground too.
Benito Lopez is young.
Right.
Davey Grant.
Albert Moraes. Done a lot of cage Titan stuff, but
Yeah,
very
I don't
good.
know. Yeah, good record
Seems
so
like
far,
a
but-
jiu-jitsu dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, I might have to change my vote actually, because Casey Kenny didn't do a very good job of staying off the ground
Rolling with
against Ray Borg. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Manny as well, dude. I'm gonna change my vote.
All right, let's see.
Manny Bermudez, 100%.
I don't know. Jody Escobar's pretty good. Yeah.
I would choose Jody Escobar versus Hannah Cyphers because I know her better.
Yeah.
Because she's a savage as well. And then Brandon Davis, Kyung Hyo Kang. We're getting deep now in the early prelims. These are people that no one really not no one knows. Like Brandon Davis, I know Brandon Davis.
Yeah. I've seen Kyo Kang fight before.
Who would you pick in this one?
I don't know. Pull up Kyung Ho Kang.
Oh
Let me
jeez.
take a look.
Kang, right? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. That's what I wanted. On Wikipedia. Share dog. There we go.
You're
Oh,
sure
Ishihara. Okay. That was his last fight.
Ishihara. I don't know. He had a rough go.
He
towards
did,
the end.
man.
Yeah.
Lost to Ricardo Ramos.
Okay.
Damn, he's been around
Yeah,
for
dude,
a while.
I'll take Davis on this too. I think
He had a 4-year layoff in 2014 to 2018. So I would go.
No, you know what it was? I think the military. Was that what it was?
Could have been.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Or was it? I'm thinking
he's
of,
South Korean. Yeah, no,
yeah.
that they do have the military service, but I think that's only a year.
Oh, is
So
it?
that could have been part of it, and then
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see what else. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean Davis 10-5, Kang his second fight this year? Yeah, against Ishihara, who's no joke either.
I mean, he's no joke. It just seems like towards the end of he's not in the UFC anymore, right? Or
I
is
don't think so.
for some reason, I'm thinking he's out.
Right,
But yeah,
because I remember he lost to the Russian Hammer, Artem. That's tough.
Yeah, it's
as well. Yeah, I remember him losing his last couple fights in the UFC. I do remember that too. So yeah, I would probably go with Brandon Davis as well. I feel like he's been here for a while. He's been more active like in the time. So yeah, I would go Brandon Davis. I feel like he smothers people. And then Sabina Mazo and Shayna Dobson. Shayna Dobson, I like her. She came from the Ultimate Fighter with Alvarez and Gaethje, but it doesn't wow me.
no.
Like I don't like when I see Shayna Dobson on a card. I'm not like, yes, looking forward to that one.
Right.
You know, like
She's kind of like in the mix.
yeah,
Kind of trying to still figure it out all out.
yeah, it seems like it. So I don't know much. I want to look up Sabina Mazo real quick. But yeah, she wasn't like what's her name, who we just saw last weekend.
Oh God, I know who you're talking about. The crowd
Lauren
loved
Murphy.
her. Lauren Murphy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's not like Lauren Murphy's like exciting. Like
Yeah, dude, she throws, man.
yeah,
Just
I
goes out.
enjoy it. Marina Murs. Oh, okay, we were there for that.
Where?
When,
Oh, that was in Philly.
yeah,
Oh, we saw that
I'm
fight.
trying to remember which one this was. I don't remember this fight. Why do I not remember this fight? That's probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
Probably not a good sign. Let's check out the card.
Definitely on the prelim.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she was the second fight. Okay.
What was the one? I'm trying to think. Marina Rodriguez versus Jessica Aguilar. That's the one that I remember. She beat the shit out of her. I do remember it now,
Okay.
but it wasn't like super
I mean,
impressive.
It's just because there wasn't probably a whole lot on the line. It's,
And Ray Borg was up next. I was really looking forward to that.
right.
But I'm gonna look up Dobson real quick. Lost by decision, won by TKO. Her last two fights.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
This is a
Mazo.
toss-up, dude. Yeah, this is a toss-up.
I'm gonna take Mazo.
I think I'm gonna do it too. Yeah. She did lose her last fight by decision, but
That's all right.
she's got some solid stuff in the LFA before.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Mazo as well. So
Good shit.
that's pretty much
Yeah,
it, dude.
they say LFA is like the biggest organization the UFC pulls from.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
I know it's
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
like it's big for that 100%. But I don't know exactly. Like I know I think MMA on Point had a video come out recently of like where they get a lot of their talent from, and I've been meaning to watch it. But
yeah, well now it's gonna be all Contender Series.
right? Yeah, seriously, dude. Yeah, like now they like, and I feel like that helps the UFC's brand a lot better too.
Yeah, they keep it all in house kind of thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't have to break any contracts or.
Right.
I don't know.
Or be able to be like, oh, this guy came from here. They could be like, no, this guy came from us, because we're the top dog. But okay. But all right. Yeah, I guess that'll just about do it.
Cool.
So
Lame Brains, check it out. We have an Instagram
yeah.
and a Facebook, right?
Yes.
You made a Facebook?
Yeah, I made
Cool.
that. Yep. And a YouTube channel as well, which is probably where this is going to be going on.
Fantastic.
And then also, I do have to say shout out to Ben Sounds, because the intro and outro is from Ben Sounds. I have to get it for free because I don't feel like paying for a full-on license. So
Thanks.
thanks Ben
Thanks,
Sounds.
Ben.
Yeah.